these three because I forgot to set the camera up. I didn't get these three, but I don't need them. I'm gonna make a like a nice storage crate. And I got a lot of this leftover wood, so I'm gonna do things like that. And I'm using the Japanese pull saw. A normal saw cuts when you push it. This one cuts when you pull it. So when you pull, it cuts. When you push, it don't cut. But a traditional saw, when you push it, it cuts. So it's the opposite. And these are flimsy. Cut, I'm using the smaller side, the smaller teeth. When you cut, you want to make sure that the saw stays on this line and this line. So you're cutting straight. This line is harder to see. You're going to have to redo it because it's coming up on a brown spot on the wood. So you're going to have to remark it a little bit darker. Make sure I got the thinner blades, the smaller blades. And pull it back.
Hey, that's the small and that's the big.
Now we got a groove in it here, and it's also lined up with this in the back. Now let's see if you can see it. I've got the groove cut in it right here. Right here I've got the groove cut in it. And you can also see the pencil line on the back. And you want to keep the saw blade lined up with this pencil line the whole time you're cutting the top. So that way you'll know that your cut will be straight. You don't want to mess it around. So let's get back to cutting it, get the camera set back up. And remember, this saw does not cut on the push, it cuts on the pull. And these saws are so much better used than the other saw, and this is the big side already. So much better used than the other saws. You can get really clean, nice cuts, and you don't got that pressure of pushing it. You just pull it, glide it into the wood, and you can change these. You can take this off. And I always put my thumb up next to it to help keep it straight. You just watch that line on the other side, and you got it. Okay, Sierra's going to cut a piece of wood on her own. She's going to make her own groove with a pull saw. It's almost through, go on. Measure these out because I know I'm not going to want this thing that tall. It's too tall. So I'll cut this here. It's way too tall. I grew up on horror movies, and I can tell you, I wish I did.
Hey, horror movies. Horror movies, it means scary movies.
Yeah, horror movies mean scary movies. Horror movies, it's totally different.
Hey, when you watch scary movies, you'll be scared like a whore, just like a gal.
Be scared like a whore, like a girl. I was scared watching those scary movies, but
Boys sideways.
But I put that negative nonsense in my brain.
Hey.
It's almost the same size as that one.
Hey, Daddy. Boys sideways.
So not all of them. All boys ain't brave. Some of them are.
You are?
Some of them are.
Only one brave?
Some of them are. Yeah, well, I must be brave. I was in the Navy 6 years.
Let me get on a piece.
No, let me rephrase that. I must be brave. I got married. I have to be careful with these and these and these and these because they're almost the same size. There's my air compressor, 4 horsepower air compressor, holds 150 liters. But there it is. All right. Now get back over here. This thing don't even hardly make any noise. There, over there. Cluck, cluck, cluck. Got to put on the earmuffs. Picked up. Hope this don't go through my finger. Shot 2 staples at once because I ain't holding up through. So strong. Yeah. See how strong? Yeah. Pretty strong though. See that little small little ridge where I sanded it? Where I sanded that. Now it's got a little ridge on it because this one is a little bit thicker than that one. Part of what gives it its charm as a fruit box, but if that was bigger than that, that would be sanded. Put 2 of that in there. We should put 2 of those instead of 1. This one here. So angling back just a little bit. Let's see there. Come through a little bit. So now, you know what that means. Now I'm going to have to grind that a little bit. Part of the charm. See if it don't stick me or anything, I might just leave that there. It's kind of smooth. As long as it's not sharp or anything, I might just leave that. See, that looks nice. That's going to look good. I'm done with it. I like it. And then the way the old timers put these crates together, they just make 2 pieces like this and run the slats on the side, slats on the bottom, the slats on the top. The slats on the top, the slats on the sides always had 2 nails in them or 2 staples. Some people use nails, some use staples. But the slats on the top, they held the top on, only had 1 thin nail in it. It wasn't even that long. So that's how you could always tell the top from the bottom. So that way when you took the top slats off, it wouldn't be hard to do. It wouldn't be hard to take the top off. But some people made a wire top, like a wire hinge, so you can open the top and then that would make another small piece that went all the way around so you could open and close the top. A lot of crates were made where you just take the top off and be done with it. And some were not made that way, some were made different. For who made the crate, some people would take the time to make some people would take the time to make the crate reusable, some won't. Orange, people who sheep oranges and apples usually make their crate reusable. Make sure, always make sure.
Daddy, move it. Daddy.
And this is kind of drying some, but wait a second, we can get this because it's already drying. Fan. See, could have put the wrong one on. And then no staple come out. Always make sure.
More longer.
You can't stick it out too far to get flimsy. If it get kind of flimsy, it'd be harder to cut. And this piece is the last one. Making this to use in the kitchen. I'm making this to use in the kitchen, so it'll be all right. Now tomorrow, which will be in a couple of seconds to you, I will be done with it. I went ahead and cut these, and there's no, I didn't video me cutting them because it's no different than cutting these here. It's the same thing, but I'll use this to find the center of this because I'm cutting these in half. I'll put the pencil in here. We can make these, but I went ahead and pop one. I just turn it like this, and as long as it's touching, don't let it move. As long as it's touching, just pressure, put a little pressure on it, and there's the center of your wood. And then I'll put a little, make it kind of long, so when you lay a ruler or something on it, and it'll be marked. Let's mark this other side also. See, because this just takes the center like this, like that. I'm gonna go ahead and take this, about which side, lay it down on here. Make sure that this line runs all the way to this line, like that. So if this line is running all the way level here, I know this end down here is going to be straight. So when I cut it, it's alright. So when I cut it, then it will be centered out. So now I'm going to cut these down the middle. See how good they look. See how good of a job the table saw does. Doesn't tell me if I need to, doesn't tell me if I, gosh, my sinus is racking up. Doesn't tell me if I need to plane the side that's, the two sides that's been cut. So, at next. Because there is no perfect alignment on the saw. One side turned out a little bit thicker. I'm correcting that problem now. Okay, like I said, but I don't know if you can hear it over that planer. this here, because there's no exact thickness when you're running something through a table saw. So when I run the first one through, I noticed it was about 4 millimeters thicker on one side. So instead of trying to solve that problem on the table saw, it was easier to just finish cutting the boards and solve the problem on the planer, because it's a whole lot easier to do. But now they're all good. Now I'll show you a belt sander tip. If you can't get your hands on the rubber cleaning bar that cleans a belt sander, you can use the rubber of an old flip or an old shoe. Just make sure that it's actual rubber and get the same effect. That has been the belt sander tip for today. Okay, and now let's piece these together and see what we got. I'm going for 2 pieces per side, like this, which I could go for cut it down and make it 3 or 4, but I think that I'll go with 2. Maybe not. So I still have the same amount of wood. I think I'm going to go cut these. And through the magic of television, they're cut back fast. But I have to admit, they do look much better. So when I put these on, I'm going to eye them. Because when people made these fruit crates in the past and even now, they didn't drag out all kinds of fancy measuring tools when they put them together. They just put them together. So when I put them together, I'm also going to eye these and make sure that they're straight. The bottom's not cut yet. These are for these pieces for the sides and the sides of this here. The bottom pieces of this will be cut here in a minute separately. Working table is anything but level. So yeah, that's work like that. It's good. So I'll eye this, get it stapled on. Alright, now I'm ready to staple it. And I'll change these staples from these big ones. I'll put the big ones back in when I'm done. I'll change it over to these here. 25 millimeter, and I don't need anything any shorter, so it'll be good. Now when you put this on, you want to do the bottom and then the top, and then line these two middle ones up. My wife edits the videos, so I just decided to go ahead and record more of this glue up and stapling. So she wants to fast forward it and we'll cut it out. I'll let that be up to her choice. Like I said, when I'm done with this, I'm going to go cut the bottom. The bottom won't be recessed in like this. The bottom will be where it's supposed to be. See what I was talking about when I lined this up in the crate. See, it doesn't extend all the way on both sides. I will take a small break after this, go eat something, and come back and measure the bottom and cut the wood for the bottom. And I'll leave the cutting process out. It's the same thing all over again. But I'll add the part at the end where I'm stapling it together. And these are staples. These are staples that I'm using. They're not brad nails. They have a better holding power, they hold stronger, they hold better than a brad nail. Now you need brad nails. I'm not saying don't use a brad nail. I'm just saying that when you're doing a lot of work, a staple really comes in handy a lot better than any kind of nail. But if you want to hide it better, then you should use a nail if you want to hide it. Coming along pretty good. Coming along pretty good here. I didn't leave a handhold in it because the majority of crates that I saw also when I was younger had the only handhold they had was somebody drilled a hole in the wood and stuck a wire through it. And I don't know if I'll recreate that or not. There's 1,000 ways to make a crate. Fruit crate. Some people took the time to cut handles in the wood. A lot of people didn't. Some people put wires through them. I've seen some with ropes through them. These things are just a dime a dozen. Just throw it together, get it done, make it good enough, and get it out of here. Like I was talking about the eyeballing technique, when you eyeball it. So that's why a lot of crate seams don't line up. See, because the one on this side is a little bit higher than the one on this side. So I've got this much done right now. Alright, I've got the board planed down, not cut. And this is the thickness I want to leave it. I want this side to be the top. I have to take care of this imperfection here. I may let this be the bottom. The best thing to do in a situation where these things are just barely there is to just put them back. Throw your hammers. This here is actually hanging over a little bit, so you want to cut it. And this one, go ahead and mark the underbelly of this. Gotta sneak up on those cuts. This one, that's when you see it. That one here, I want a little gap in there, so I'll cut it right here. fix over here to be the waist side. Now we'll cut these on the sliding compound saw. Okay, now I've got these cut, and this here, and this one here needs slightly cut, so I will take this back and mark this one with this one and cut it. Okay, now they're all cut, they're all the same size, and they're all proportioned. So let's get this on, and I'm still so tempted to seal this wood, and I'm fighting the urge. I'm gonna put that one like that. That's perfect. I think I'll go here, and here, and then get the other sides, that way it won't be trying to bob around. Stain it, whatever you want. It's going to be like a decoration in the house. It's got the trademark side here that don't go all the way out. And it's finished. It's got a little bit of fur sticking up that I left on it that I didn't sand off. Give it that extra look that I'm looking for. Really nice. Finished. It's the bottom. Kind of heavy. There it is. I'll take it in that my wife will not over it.